You know, when people say family is everything, I usually smile and nod. But in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, well, not mine. Hi, my name's Naomi, I'm 21, a college senior, and for the longest time I thought being the quiet one in the family meant being respected. Trust me, by the end of this video you'll see how to take revenge in a whole new way. Before beginning, hit the subscribe button so that you never miss out on new videos. Without further ado, let's get started. Asterisk turns out, it just made me invisible. Until I decided I didn't want to be. Let me take you back to the day it all started unraveling. Or maybe, the day I started pulling the strings. I had always been the girl who handled things behind the scenes. Bills? I paid them. Groceries? I scheduled the deliveries. Streaming passwords? All mine. My dad didn't care how the Wi-Fi stayed connected, or how his bills were magically never overdue. My mom just smiled and nodded, grateful but passive. And my younger brother? He was a spoiled, clueless gaming addict who thought laundry just washed itself. Nobody really saw me. Not until I stopped being useful. I didn't grow up in a bad neighborhood or anything. Our house was in a nice suburban corner. 4 bedrooms, 2 stories, a fenced-in backyard, classic family photo type of place. Except, the smiles in our pictures never reached our eyes. My dad was one of those my house, my rules kind of men. Loud, controlling. Thought that yelling was the same as parenting. And trust me, he loved to yell. My mom? She used to be a nurse. Gave it all up to be there for the family. Now she just folds laundry like it's a religion. She stopped standing up for herself years ago. Maybe she was too tired. Maybe she just gave up. And my brother Jason, he was 17 and already 10 times more entitled than any rich YouTuber I've ever watched. He'd throw a tantrum if the internet dropped for more than 5 seconds. I once unplugged the router to reset it, and he acted like I cut off his oxygen. And me? I was just the glue. Not by choice. By necessity. I was always the one with the part-time job. Always the one paying for her own textbooks, buying her own clothes, setting up auto payments for the electric bill, because your father's too busy to deal with all that digital crap. That's what they'd say. I didn't mind, at first. It made me feel useful, like I mattered, like I had a purpose, but it wasn't appreciation. It was dependence. And when you stop giving dependent people what they want, they turn on you. It all blew up one rainy Thursday. I remember because the clouds matched my mood so perfectly. I almost laughed. Jason had skipped school again and spent the whole day screaming into his headset, raging at some kid in a video game. My dad got home from work and, as usual, poured himself a glass of cheap whiskey like it was a sacred ritual. Dinner was quiet. I had cooked, of course, but no one said thanks. And then, right when I stood up to clear the plates, my dad dropped the bomb. You're getting a little too high and mighty lately, Naomi. Walking around like you own this house. I blinked. Excuses. Me? You think just 'cause you pay a few bills and act like some tech whiz, you get to call shots? You're still under my roof. You don't like it. You can leave. There it was. Just like that. The thing people say when they want control. The classic dad move. If you don't like it, leave. So I did. No yelling. No slamming doors. I just walked up to my room, packed 2 bags, grabbed my laptop, and walked out the front door. Not a single tear. But here's the part he didn't expect. I was the one holding the reins. See, while my dad thought he ruled the house with his booming voice and whiskey breath, I had the real power. I managed every online account, every password, Every auto payment, every utility bill, from electric to gas to water to garbage collection. I was the silent system behind their comfort. And when I left, I didn't just walk away. I took the system with me. Asterisk, asterisk. I didn't cry that night, not once. I got in my friend Tasha's car. She'd been waiting around the corner, just in case things went south, and as soon as I shut the door, she looked over at me and asked, "You good?" I nodded. More than good. "I'm done." We drove to her apartment in silence. She didn't press me for details, which was one of the many reasons I loved her. She gave me a key, tossed me a blanket, and left a toothbrush on the sink like she'd known this was going to happen for months. I slept like a rock by morning. I was ready. You see, most people, when they get kicked out, they lose everything. Their routine, their access, their footing. But me? I had admin access. I opened my laptop and logged into everything. The electric company portal, gas, water, Wi-Fi, streaming services, family budgeting app, grocery delivery accounts, even the smart home controls. I stared at the dashboard I had. Built for them. Years of carefully set auto payments. Passwords I updated monthly. Email notifications that went to my inbox. Not theirs. It was all right there. I hovered my cursor over the suspend button on the electric account. My heart thumped not from fear, but from something far more dangerous. Satisfaction. Click. Electricity gone. Next. Up. Wi-Fi. I disabled the router remotely and changed the admin password. Parental controls on Jason's gaming setup. Activated. Limited to 10 minutes a day. A little treat for my spoiled brother. Streaming accounts. Logged out from all devices. Recovered and reset to new emails. Passwords changed to random strings even I wouldn't remember. The grocery app? Cancelled. Auto bill for trash collection. Cancelled. Smart home temperature? Set to a delightful 80 degrees Fahrenheit. In June, I chuckled. It felt poetic. I wasn't doing this out of pettiness. Okay, maybe a little pettiness. But mostly, it was a lesson. They never noticed the weight I carried. Never thanked me. Never offered help. I had been their invisible backbone. And when I was gone, I wanted them to feel it. I left a few things running. Water for now. Just enough to make them think something else was wrong. Confusion first. Desperation later. Tasha came home from her shift at noon. I was still sitting, cross-legged on the couch, laptop in my lap, smiling. "You look like someone who just dropped a nuke," she joked. "Not a nuke," I replied, sipping my iced coffee. Precision strikes. Back at my family's house, the chaos had already begun. My dad called me around 3 p.m. I let it go to voicemail. He left a message. Angry, of course. "Naomi, the Wi-Fi's out. What the hell did you do? I can't even reset the router, it's locked. Call me back." I laughed. Out loud. 5 minutes later, a text from Jason. "Bro, I can't log into my games. Did you mess with the Wi-Fi? Fix it." No punctuation. Classic Jason. Another. Call. Then another. I didn't answer. I wanted them to sit in it. Later that evening, I watched from my phone as the electric usage dropped to 0. They were in the dark now. By midnight, I had 12 missed calls, 6 angry texts, and a final, almost desperate message from my dad. "Enough of this. You're acting like a child. Come back and fix this. Now." That was rich. Child. I was the only adult in that house. And now that I was gone, they were flailing like toddlers who'd lost their babysitter. I didn't reply. Instead, I closed my laptop, turned off my phone, and slept soundly once again. Because revenge doesn't always need screaming or fire or drama. Sometimes it's as simple as clicking log out. Asterisk, asterisk. The next morning, I woke up to a dead phone. Not because it ran out of charge, but because I shut it off intentionally. I wasn't going to let them ruin my peace. Still, curiosity. 1. I powered it on. 17 new texts. 6 voicemails. 3 missed calls from Mom. 1 from Dad. 2 from Jason. Their digital panic was escalating beautifully. Tasha handed me a bowl of cereal and looked at my screen. They still losing their minds? I showed her the messages. Naomi, your father, says you have until 8 p.m. to return and restore everything. Why are you doing this to us? This is low even for you. Fix the internet. If you don't fix this, you're not welcome back here ever again. This isn't funny anymore. Asterisk, asterisk, I scoffed. It was never funny. It's justice. For the next few days, I let it simmer. The utilities didn't just vanish overnight, but without me managing due dates, without the autopays I'd set up years ago, the dominoes started to fall. First came the internet outage. Then the power company sent a final reminder. The gas bill bounced. Trash pickup? Cancelled due to missed payments. They called and emailed support lines, but most accounts were tied to my email, my passwords, my phone number. Their names weren't even on half the documents. I had handled everything. All that control. They'd handed it over to me because it was easier. And now, they were locked out of their own lives. Mom was the first to actually sound broken. Her voice trembled in a voicemail. Naomi, I know you're angry, but this isn't the way, please. We can talk. Just, please help us get the lights back on. Asterisk, asterisk, I paused. I almost felt something. Then I remembered every time she stood silently behind my dad when he shouted at me. Every time she let him treat me like an outsider. Every time she thanked me for taking care of things, but never stood up for me when I needed her most. No. Silence doesn't earn mercy. I didn't respond. Instead, I sat in the quiet glow of Tasha's apartment, sipping tea, reading for class, finally able to focus free from their noise. Asterisk, asterisk. On the 3rd day, my dad came to campus. He actually waited near one of my lecture halls. I saw him before he saw me and ducked behind a vending machine. He was fuming, red-faced, pacing, like a lion at the zoo, caged but dangerous. I messaged Tasha. He's here. She replied instantly. Do not engage. I slipped out through the back of the building. I wasn't scared, just done. I wasn't going to let him hijack the story again. Later that night, I received an email from him. You've made your point. I'll pay the bills myself from now on. But you need to give me the passwords. Don't make this worse. Worse? It had always been bad. I just stopped pretending. He ended the email with, "We're still your family." That one. That made me laugh. Because the moment they kicked me out, I stopped being theirs. I gave it 2 more days. The final straw must have been when the garbage piled up and the fridge stopped working. Mom sent a picture. Moldy food. Rotten milk, flies. The kitchen that once sparkled now looked like something out of a horror film. She wrote, "We can't live like this anymore. Please, Naomi." And for the first time, I replied, just 3 words. Now you understand. Asterisk, asterisk, after I sent that message. Now you understand. The silence on their end lasted a whole day, and it was glorious. No texts. No emails, no calls, no guilt trips. I felt free. like I'd broken out of a cage. I didn't even realize I was in. I could breathe again. Think again. Be myself without tiptoeing around my father's ego or my brother's whining. Tasha and I ate pizza on the floor that night. I told her stories, funny ones, angry ones, from years of being the invisible helper. She listened like it was a true crime documentary. Because, in a way, it was. A slow crime against someone's spirit. They're gonna apologize eventually, she said, licking sauce off her finger. I mean, they have to. They're literally sitting in the dark. I raised an eyebrow. You don't know my dad. But the next morning, I got a message that surprised me. Not from him. Not from Jason. But from my mom. I'm sorry. I blinked at the screen. It was short. Just those 2 words. But they carried weight. Still, I wasn't going to melt. I waited a few minutes, then replied, For what? She responded almost instantly. For standing by and letting him treat you like that. For depending on you like you owed us. For not protecting you. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. It was the first honest thing anyone from that house had said to me in years. But even so, she didn't ask how I was doing. She didn't ask if I was safe or happy. She just wanted the systems back. I knew that, and I needed more than guilt to unlock what I'd locked down. So I replied, If he apologizes too genuinely, I'll consider helping. Silence again. No reply. Not for the rest of the day. But that night, I got a phone call. From my dad. I stared at the screen. For once, he didn't leave a voicemail. I let it go to voicemail anyway. Then a few minutes later, he called again. This time, I answered, Naomi. His voice was gravelly, less angry, more worn. Yeah? I don't know what you want from me. Typical. I want what you've never given me, I said flatly. Respect. And maybe acknowledgement. A pause. You've always thought you were better than everyone. There it was. Still trying to twist the knife. No, I replied calmly. I just finally believed I was worth something. You didn't like that. Another long pause. Then? He sighed. I shouldn't have kicked you out. I blinked. Not quite an apology. But closer. He kept going. I didn't realize how much you did around here. Not just the bills. Everything. Your mom's a wreck. Jason hasn't stopped yelling. The house is falling apart. I stayed quiet. Finally, he said, quieter than I'd ever heard him. I'm sorry. There it was. 3 words I never thought I'd hear. I'm sorry I treated you like help instead of family. I thought I was being tough. But I wasn't fair. You didn't deserve that. And just like that, the weight shifted. I didn't forgive him, not yet. But I heard him. And for once, he was listening too. I waited a beat, then said, I'll give you access again. Slowly. But from now on, everything goes in your name. You pay, you deal with it. I'm done being your IT department. He chuckled lightly. Fair enough. And tell Jason ... Next time he screams at a game, he better scream at his own Wi-Fi. That made him actually laugh. It sounded ... strange. Almost human. I hung up without saying goodbye, not out of anger, just power. Because this time, I was in control. Asterisk, I didn't rush to restore everything. I made him wait. Not out of cruelty, just principle. Because for years, they had made me wait. For recognition. For help. For even a single thank you. And now, they could sit in that same waiting room, with nothing but discomfort and confusion for company. I started with the electric bill. I called the company myself. transferred the account to my dad's name, deleted my card from the file, and made it his responsibility. Next came the water, the gas, then the garbage. Each call was like shedding dead weight I didn't realize I'd been carrying. When I got to the Wi-Fi account, I smiled. I reset everything. Changed the login email to my dad's. Set a parental limit on Jason's devices just for fun. Then I deleted all my info, my credit card, even my backup recovery codes. My digital fingerprints were erased. Every single service now screened. This is no longer Naomi's responsibility. And it felt so damn good. Tasha and I celebrated with cheap wine and cupcakes. We sat on her balcony as the sun set over the city, a soft orange glow painting the buildings around us. "You did it," she said, raising her plastic cup. I clinked mine against hers. I did. And I had. For the first time in years, I wasn't managing someone else's chaos. I wasn't patching holes they punched in the walls of their lives. I was just existing. It felt strange. But in the best way. Then came the real surprise. I got an email from Jason. Subject line: "So. Are you serious?" No greeting. No punctuation. Just this: "Dad made me call the Wi-Fi company today. They talked to me like I was an idiot. I hate this. Also, my room is hot because you messed with the thermostat, and Dad doesn't know how to fix it." I rolled my eyes. Even in discomfort, he was a brat. But then, a few lines down: "I guess I didn't realize how much you were doing. You made things work. I didn't see that before. Sorry I was a jerk. It wasn't warm or perfect, but it was something. So I replied, "Thanks. You'll survive." And that was it. I wasn't interested in rebuilding burned bridges, but I could acknowledge the embers. Over the next few weeks, things settled. My family began adjusting to life without me. They learned how to manage their own bills, schedules, groceries. It was messy at first. Mom accidentally paid the gas bill twice. Jason forgot to take out the trash for 3 straight pickups. Dad didn't know how to reset the modem when the internet dropped. But slowly, they learned, and I stayed gone, because I didn't want to be part of that house anymore. Not really. I wanted peace. I wanted independence. I wanted to be seen for who I was, not just what I provided. And outside that house, I found all of it. One evening, my mom called. Just to talk. Not to beg. Not to guilt me. Just to talk. We laughed a little. Shared updates. It was nice. And when she said, "I miss you," I smiled softly and replied, "I miss who we could have been." Because I was no longer the girl who cleaned up after everyone, was the woman who walked away and taught them what happened when the foundation cracked. A few days after transferring the last account out of my name, I opened TikTok. I hadn't posted anything serious in months. Just a few cat videos, random campus clips, and some half-finished lip-sync drafts. But that day, I posted a story. No names. No faces. Just my voice over a clip of my laptop screen logging into an electric company account. The caption read, "When your dad kicks you out of the house, but forgot that you pay every bill, run the Wi-Fi, and control the thermostat." Hashtag family drama, hashtag revenge was digital. Hashtag respect your quiet kid. I added a sound, just a moody lo-fi beat, and posted it before bed. Didn't think twice. The next morning, it had 48,000 likes. By noon, it hit 300,000. The comments? A tidal wave. "You are the main character. This is the most Gen Z revenge story ever and I love it. Silent daughters always hold the most power." I aspire to this level of calm pettiness. Nah, 'cause this is justice. It went viral. Millions of views, thousands of shares. Even a few reaction videos from INFLUENCERS. Suddenly, I wasn't just Naomi, I was that girl who took back her power. The invisible daughter who became unforgettable. And the best part, no one outside my circle knew it was about my real family. To them, it was just a story. But to me, it was validation. Not from strangers, but from the universe itself. Of course, Jason found the video. He messaged me. "Seriously? You told the whole internet about us?" I replied. "No names, no faces. Don't flatter yourself." He didn't respond after that. I wasn't out to humiliate them. I was out to reclaim my narrative, and I had. Later that week, I walked into class and 2 girls sitting near the back gasped when they saw me. One whispered, "That's the girl from TikTok, I swear." I smiled to myself. Not because I wanted fame, but because for the first time I wasn't invisible. Not at home. Not online. Not even in my own skin. Tasha thought it was hilarious. "You went from family ghost to revenge icon in under 48 hours. I shrugged, sipping my iced coffee. "Honestly, I'm just glad I'm not crying in a closet somewhere." "Growth," she said, holding up a fist for me to bump. And I bumped it. Because growth. A few weeks later, I got a handwritten letter in the mail. From my mom. Just a folded sheet of paper. No return address in her familiar CURSIVE. It said, "I saw the video. You were right to leave. And I hope someday you can forgive us. Or at least me. You deserved better. I'm working on being better. Always, Mom." I stared at the paper for a long time. I didn't cry, but something inside me softened. Because real change doesn't happen in viral comments. It happens in quiet letters. In actions that follow apologies. And while I wasn't ready to go back, not yet, I was ready to keep walking forward. Without guilt, without burden, without looking back. Asterisk. I kept the letter from my mom in my journal. Not because I planned to respond right away, or because it suddenly erased everything, but because it felt real. For once, her words weren't filtered through my dad's control or shaped to keep peace. They were just hers, and that meant something. But I still wasn't ready to return. Had finally started to feel whole. Living with Tasha gave me room to breathe. Her apartment was small, but warm. Mismatched mugs in the cabinet. String lights over the windows. Half-dead plants she swore she'd revive. And me? I was finally studying in peace. I landed a flexible remote internship with a startup in tech support. Ironic, I know. The girl who used to manage her family's entire digital life was now getting paid to do it for people who actually said, "Thank you." I paid rent, bought my own groceries, even started a little savings account for the first time in forever. It wasn't much, but it was mine. My therapist, yes. I started therapy too, called it financial and emotional unshackling. I called it freedom with Wi-Fi. Then came graduation. I didn't tell my family I was walking. Tasha came. She brought flowers and ugly cried during my name call. I wore a dress I thrifted for $12 and heels. That nearly killed me. But when they handed me that diploma, I felt lighter than air. No one there knew the journey behind my smile. That I'd survived emotional neglect, dismissal, and being kicked out just months before. That I'd rebuilt everything piece by piece. And I wasn't bitter on that stage. I was victorious. Afterward, I posted a single picture to Instagram. Me, smiling, cap slightly crooked, with the caption, "From invisible to invincible." No tags, no shade, but anyone paying attention would know. A day later, I got a message from my mom. We're proud of you. Sorry we missed it. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Some silences are full of power. Mine was. Later that week, I moved into my own place. Tiny studio. Second-hand furniture. A sink that made weird noises when you ran hot water. But it was mine. Every bill had my name. Every password, every login, every light switch, I controlled it all. Not because I had to. Because I chose to. And the feeling of knowing no one could ever throw me out again. Unmatched. One night, I stood in the center of that tiny room, surrounded by cardboard boxes and a pizza on the counter. And I whispered out, loud, I did it. Not for TikTok. Not for followers. For me. Because the girl who once ran an entire house for people who never saw her, now ran a life of her own. One they couldn't touch, or ruin, or control. I had no plans of going back because sometimes cutting them off isn't revenge. Sometimes. It's survival. Asterisk. It had been 3 months since I'd left. 3 months of silence, clarity, and small victories. I learned how to cook meals for one without wasting food. I figured out how to hang shelves with a single screwdriver. I even started meditating, nothing fancy, just 5 minutes in the morning with my phone on airplane mode. There were days I missed something about home. Not the house, not the people, but the feeling of before things got ugly, before I had to defend my existence. Sometimes I remembered the smell of my mom's cinnamon rolls on Sundays, or how the house felt at Christmas, warm, twinkling, slightly chaotic. I clung to those fragments not to feel nostalgia, but to remind myself I wasn't crazy for hoping they'd be better. People don't grieve the loss of bad families. They grieve the fantasy they clung to for years that maybe it could have been good. One day, Tasha and I went to a local market, just to wander. I was picking out candles when I spotted my dad. He was standing across the produce section, alone, holding a bag of apples, looking tired. His hair had more grey. His shoulders slumped. There was something different about him, like a man who had started doing his own errands for the first time in decades. He didn't see me. I ducked behind a stand of fresh herbs, heart pounding. Not from fear. From conflict. Would he yell if he saw me? Would he pretend we were fine? But then he looked up. And our eyes met. For a second, everything froze. Just a second. Then he gave me the smallest, most awkward nod, like a silent truce, and looked away. I stood there, stunned. He didn't walk toward me, didn't call out, didn't try to control the moment. He just let it be. And weirdly, that was the most respectful thing he'd ever done. I walked away without a word, but with a strange peace blooming in my chest. Because for once, he hadn't tried to win or rewrite the narrative. He let me exist on my own, in public, without confrontation. That was enough. Later that night, I journaled. Healing isn't dramatic. Sometimes it's just a quiet moment in a grocery store where no one says what they used to. A week later, I received a package. No return name. No note. Just a box. Inside, a photo album. Pictures of me growing up. My first piano recital. My science fair trophy. Family vacations, most of which I barely remembered. And tucked in the back, a newer picture of the house. Clean. Lights on. A little note tucked into the frame. We're taking care of it now. No signature. But I knew it was from Mom. It didn't say come home. It didn't say we miss you. It simply said, we've learned. And that meant more than all the apologies in the world. Because I never wanted revenge just to watch them fall. I wanted them to understand why they did. And now, maybe, they did. Asterisk asterisk, I kept the photo album. I didn't put it on display though. It lived in a drawer under my bed, next to my old journals, a few high school trophies, and that one college hoodie I swore I'd never wear again, but secretly did when I couldn't sleep. Some nights, I'd take it out, flip through the pages, and feel ... Not sad, exactly ... not angry, either ... just ... reflective. Like staring into a mirror that showed not your face, but your entire past. And one night, I finally understood something. I wasn't looking for them to fix what happened. I was just waiting to feel like me again. And somehow, quietly, in this tiny studio apartment with paint-chipped walls and secondhand furniture, I had ... It was a Thursday afternoon when I got the next letter. This time, it was from my dad ... typed, folded neatly. No envelope ... Tasha had found it taped to our apartment door. She handed it to me like it might bite. "Wanna burn it, read it, or ignore it?" she asked. Let's see how bold he got. I smirked. Inside, the letter read, "Naomi, I saw you at the store. I didn't approach you because I didn't think I had the right. I know I failed you. I raised you like you were a responsibility instead of a blessing. I thought providing a roof was the same as being a father. It wasn't. Your mother's been different since you left. Quieter. She misses you. So, do I not? Because we want our bills paid. Not because the thermostat won't cooperate. But because you were the best thing in that house, and we didn't see it until it was empty. I don't expect forgiveness, but I hope one day you might sit down with us again. Proud of you. Dad, I read it twice, maybe 3 times. Tasha said. Nothing, just sat beside me and waited. Finally, I folded it slowly and whispered, he single quotes S. learning. Or trying to, she said. That's more than most. And it was. But trying doesn't mean I owed him anything. Trying doesn't undo years of being silenced, ignored, controlled. It just means maybe he sees it now. Then that was enough. Next weekend, I sat on the floor with my laptop and drafted an email. Short, measured, no emotions, no venom. Just, "Hi Dad, thank you for the letter. I'm doing well. I'm proud of where I am. And I'm healing. I'm not ready to come back, but I'm glad you're doing the work. I hope you continue to. Take care. Naomi." No promises. No door opened, but no door slammed. Either. Just a line drawn with love for myself. Closure doesn't always knock with grand apologies or dramatic reunions. Sometimes, it comes with a quiet sigh on a couch you bought yourself. Sometimes, it's a letter you don't burn. And sometimes, it's the moment you realize you don't need them to tell you you're valuable, because you already know. Asterisk asterisk. A year passed. And just like that, I wasn't the girl they kicked out anymore. I was the woman who survived it, and rewrote the ending. I'd moved into a better apartment by then, one with more sunlight. Shelves I actually installed level. And a little nook by the window where I drank my coffee every morning. I had a job I loved, co-workers who respected me, and a peace I didn't even know was possible before. People always talk about revenge like it's a fire. Angry. Destructive. Loud. But mine? Mine was quiet. Precise. Like a scalpel cutting away what no longer served me. One afternoon, I bumped into my old neighbor, Mrs. Patel, while picking up coffee. She squinted at me, her arms full of tulips and reusable bags. "Naomi?" she said. Smiled. "Hi, Mrs. Patel. Oh my stars, look at you. You look so ... grown." "I feel it." She tilted her head. "I don't see you at your parents' house anymore. Everything okay?" I gave a gentle smile. It is now. She nodded slowly, like she understood more than she let on. You always were the glue, she said. Houses don't hold without glue. And that stuck with me all day, because that's what I have been. The glue. The foundation. The quiet backbone that held up a family too proud to admit they leaned on me. And when they tried to toss me aside, they didn't realize they were pulling out the pillar holding the whole thing together. And when I walked away, it all cracked. Not because I destroyed it, but because it was never built to last. Without me in the first place. I don't hate them. That's something people misunderstand when I tell this story. They assume I'm bitter, that I live off spite. But the truth is, I don't hate them at all. I just finally love myself more. I love myself enough not to go back. Enough not to keep explaining my worth. Enough not to be the invisible fixer anymore. Last month, I got one final message from my mom. It said, "No expectations. No pressure. Just letting you know. We're okay. And we hope you are too. That's all. No guilt. No tears. Just peace." And that's what I gave back. I am. I really am. You see, this story wasn't about revenge. It was about release. Letting go of the burden I was never meant to carry. Letting go of a role I didn't ask to play. Letting go of a house that was never a home. And building one of my own. Brick by brick. Bill by bill. Boundary by boundary. Now, I live in a space where the lights stay on because I turn them on. Where the internet works because I chose the provider. Where the peace doesn't come from silence. It comes from being safe. So if you're watching this, and you've ever been the glue in a family that cracked when you stepped away, know this. You didn't break them. You just stopped bleeding yourself dry to hold them together. And that's not revenge. That's rebirth. Asterisk. Thanks for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, if you've ever been dismissed, controlled or forced to carry more than your share, just know this. You're not alone. And you don't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Sometimes walking away isn't weakness. It's the first step toward strength. So take that step and never apologize for it. This has been my story. Thank you for letting me tell it. Asterisk. Hoped you liked it. If you watched till the end, please comment revenge so that we could understand you were with us till the end. As well as, please let us know, where are you watching from? Before leaving, please hit the subscribe button. Comment your thought and share with your nearest and dearest one. See you in the next one. Until to the next one, stay happy. Asterisk.